tomorrow morning, we very well might receive what is the final Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch. This morning, Nintendo announcing that there will be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, focusing 40 minutes about the Nintendo Switch, stuff coming this year. There will be no mention of Nintendo Switch successor during this. So what's up, Waluigi? Trent from Trentendo here. Today we are talking everything Nintendo Direct that hopefully we can see tomorrow, what might happen, and what does this mean, because as I said, this very well might be the final Direct for Nintendo Switch. So before we hop into all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy my content, and let's just dive right in. So, as I said, there is some thought that this might be the final Nintendo Direct, and based off of what we've seen Nintendo do, I wouldn't be surprised if one way or the other, to be totally honest. But 40 minutes to me seems like a pretty beefy Direct. We have gotten Directs that big in the past. We've gotten Directs smaller than that in the past, though. So a 40-minute Direct seems like a good amount of time to cover everything that we could expect to see through the last part of this year, as well as, maybe we see the first inklings of 2025 as well. But it's got to be the end, I feel like this is the time for Nintendo to kind of blow out the bag, if you will, to really just kind of get everything that they want on Nintendo Switch announced. Let's get it out, let's get it going, and get focused on the next system. So what might we see? We've heard so many things, I feel like, the last couple of months, and this last week or so, I feel like the leaks and the rumors have really tapered off. There hasn't been as much going around. We haven't seen a ton of stuff from Pyoro. Midori, that whole thing is an interesting situation in itself. We won't get into that, but even Nate the Hate hasn't necessarily put out a ton of stuff recently, and there's been a lot of talk about how these leaks are affecting the games and affecting the announcements and the hype around them, and we haven't gotten a ton of stuff this last couple of weeks. So I feel like this is going to be a Direct that may have quite a few surprises in it, because we haven't heard anything, and Nintendo has been so quiet, and even these leakers have not leaked a ton of stuff. It's been pretty quiet. So what have we heard, though? We've heard a lot of stuff about Mario Party. We've had this Mario Party idea that there was a game in development with the codename Banquet. So maybe we see some sort of a Mario Party. We are in time frame for a new Mario Party. Maybe it's even just DLC for Super Mario Party All-Stars, or Super Mario Party, or Mario Party All-Stars. I would personally love to see some DLC for Mario Party All-Stars. I really enjoyed that throwback to the GameCube and the 64 games. Give us some more give us some more mini games, give us some more boards there. I think that'd be a good get. We've heard some stuff about Donkey Kong. It's been a long time since we've gotten a Donkey Kong game. Tropical Freeze was the last true Donkey Kong game we got, and that was a Wii U game, and it was just ported over to Nintendo Switch. So Donkey Kong is something that we've heard about, and it makes sense too with the theme park and the way that Nintendo is kind of positioning Donkey Kong to be next to Mario. We saw that in the Mario movie. With the theme park, they want Donkey Kong to be as big, maybe not as big, but they want it to be a big deal as like Mario is. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Donkey Kong. We gotta talk about Zelda and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Their talk around these games has been unreal, it feels like, and it's been so long since we talked about it. Even going back to when Skyward Sword was announced, that we had people talking about, oh, don't worry, these games still probably going to be coming at some point, and that's been years at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that here as well. But maybe Nintendo even sits on that longer, and maybe that's something they want to launch Switch 2 with. Maybe, hey, rather than letting this thing ride on the last couple of months of this current system, let's save it, and this would be a nice little reason to transition to Switch 2, or maybe it's a cross-gen title or something like that. So that's something I wouldn't be surprised to see as well. Metroid Prime, I think there's a good chance we get a shadow drop of Prime 2 and 3. I think there will be some shadow drop stuff here. I don't know if Prime is necessarily it. I think that it makes sense that there's been a lot of shadow drop stuff recently, whether it's Nintendo or if it's an indie game or a third-party developer. I think there's some stuff going along there. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. But with Prime 4 coming out soon, I think we got to hear something about Prime 4. I think we've got to hear something about Prime 4. It's been too long. This, like I said, this is probably Nintendo's last chance to do that on a Direct. You know, like I said, they could maybe do something smaller in September. I don't think we're going to get as big of a beefy Direct for Nintendo Switch specifically. If we do get a beefy Direct in September, it's going to be a blowout for the next system. So if they want to go over Metroid Prime 4, I think this is the time. The time is now. Give us Prime 2 and 3 to go along with 1, and let us just enjoy those games while we wait for Prime 4, and hopefully that game comes out. I wouldn't be surprised to see that be like a holiday game, or one of those games that maybe trickles into 2025. As I said, that there is some possibility that we see some stuff kind of there. I've heard some people talking about Pokemon Legends ZA. Maybe we see some gameplay for that. I don't think so. I don't think that Pokemon's going to be here. As much as I love Pokemon, Pokemon wants to do their own thing. They're going to want to save it for a Pokemon Presents. They're going to want to save it for something else. I don't think we see gameplay for Legends ZA here. I think we're going to have to wait for Pokemon to do their own thing. I know we do see Pokemon stuff pop up at Directs every now and then, but with something as big as a gameplay reveal, I think that's going to be something that Pokemon wants to do themselves. They're not going to want to, have that buried, if you will, amongst other big announcements, or even just other announcements in general. They're going to want to have that to have its own spotlight, its own time. So I think that that's something we won't see. But maybe we do see something Pokemon. Maybe we see some DLC for something.Maybe we see, heaven forbid, we see the Game Boy games and the Game Boy Advance games hit the Nintendo Switch Online. I think that's something that I would love to see. But again, that might come because it's an update to NSO. But again, then like I said, Pokemon's kind of a weird thing where they want to do their own stuff sometimes, even though they're part of Nintendo. They're not really part of Nintendo. So I don't think we're going to see Pokemon stuff, to be honest, but just want to kind of bring that up because I have heard people talking about Pokemon Legends EA potentially being here. But, maybe we get a new 2D Zelda. We have had some talks about a 2D Zelda. So even if we don't get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, maybe this is where we get a 2D Zelda. So the possibilities are really endless. We could see so much stuff from Mario to Donkey Kong to Zelda to Metroid. I think there's going to be a lot of big stuff potential. And it would make sense with this being the final Direct for a Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. So I'm kind of going into this thinking that there's going to be more big stuff than not, to be honest. There is going to be a ton of filler stuff. There's going to be stuff that you're not interested in. There's going to be a ton of indie titles. There's going to be a bunch of third-party stuff that, doesn't seem like it's going to really move the needle. But the way that I think Nintendo, as I said, has positioned themselves right here, the way that this is going to, how much time they have, I think we're going to get more things than not. So I'm very excited. I don't know anything, so maybe, if you don't want to get disappointed, maybe don't hype up as much as I am. But you know what? I'm excited. Even if they don't show a ton off here, it just means that they're saving it for Switch 2. So at that same time, there's reason to be excited. There's reason for hope, because even if this Direct kind of feels like at the end of this 40 minutes, I think they're going to just be saving a lot of stuff for Switch 2, and we're not going to have to wait that much longer if they don't have much for us to play here. And if they do give us a bunch of stuff to kind of end the year on, I still think, they're just going to make sure we have some nice stuff to play. We're going to have a nice ride on the end of this, what's been one of the best systems ever in Nintendo Switch, and there's going to be a lot to look forward to for Nintendo Switch 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments, though, what do you guys think? Are you excited? Is there anything else that I didn't talk about that maybe you're hoping to see? Maybe a Fire Emblem, or something else. Maybe Live Alive, or It Takes Two. I don't know. There's a ton of stuff that it could potentially be out here. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. On that out down below as well. Hope you enjoyed. Looking forward to getting that conversation with you down below. And until next time, catch you later.